Now, what does it mean to be a journalist in a country that has no right to information? As the West African sub-region prepares for the West Africa Media Excellence Conference and awards coming on in Ghana, my colleague Justice Beidou finds out some of the untold stories of journalism practice in the following report.
Hailed the world over as the fourth estate of the realm, the media is one of the most critical institutions speaking truth to power and demanding accountability the world over. Here in Ghana, a vibrant media is one of the reasons why the country's democracy is so robust. But who are the people behind the journalism content that we wake up to every day? And what price do they pay doing the work that they do? My name is Justice Beidou, and in this film for Joy News, I will be finding out.
The Ghana Institute of Journalism, the country's oldest media training center, a center of excellence for communication training in Africa. Here, the next generation of journalists put in their all, hoping to land their dream job.
Journalism has always been my passion, and then as I was growing up as a child through junior high school, I was encouraged by most of my teachers to pursue it because they could see it in me, like the way I express myself and how good I am with the English language. So I think it's my passion. That is the reason why I chose journalism.
Why do I want to be a journalist? Well, I have a passion for it. I love it. I love the job. So I would like to be a journalist and work in a reputable media house, or probably have my own media house and then employ people by God's grace. Years to come.
For one, I want to fight for the people in Ghana. That's why I chose journalism.
So what does being a journalist mean?
My name is Manasseh Azore Arene. I am a senior broadcast journalist with the Multimedia Group.
This is one of Ghana's most celebrated investigative journalists. In 2016, he broke one of the biggest stories involving the president.
It was a few months to election and the atmosphere was very charged, and that was when we had to go public with the story about he accepting a Ford gift from a Burkinabe contractor who was doing business with the state, and some of those contracts had issues. So it raised questions about conflict of interest, bribery, and abuse of office. So we had to bring this to the fore.
That single story, like many he had done before, put his life on the line.
I have feared not only with that one, but a number of the stories I have done. Jida, Sada, people are involved, and I've done stories like the Ali Gaba story. Someone is in jail. So when the case even went to court, some journalists were attacked when they went to report on the Ali Gaba story in court. So if the family would attack those who are reporting in the court, then you can imagine that the one who actually brought up the entire investigation won't be spared if perhaps they had him. It is dangerous, I know that, but anybody or any professional should stand for something. And standing for something should mean that stand for it, even if it will cost you your life. So at the end of the day, that's what keeps me going.
Manasseh has been lucky, one too many times, but many others haven't.
That incident it's haunted me for all these years.
Emmanuel Ante has been working at Joy News for the last 5 years. In 2012, when disputes over Ghana's election result boiled over, he was on the front line, leading Joy News' coverage.
The events as they happen, when they happen.
Well, at this point, it is almost clear the NDC's candidate, John Dramani Mahama, has won the 2012 election. The party has secured a majority in parliament. The MPP has disputed the poll and are threatening to go to court. There's tension in some parts of Accra. We are receiving reports of pockets of violent clashes.
He set out to do his work, but that would be the beginning of his peril.
On that fateful day, I was deployed to go and cover some chaos that was happening at the NPP headquarters. We were told that people with machetes are driving some of the supporters and party officials away from their offices. So we went there to cover. I wanted to get the story, what I was seeing. My instincts just could not let me just leave it like that. So I got down out of the car, and then they went ahead. So they came back to the office, and I was using an iPhone that we were given. So I took shots of the guy who's been stabbed, bleeding, and then them trying to pick him to the hospital and all that. And then I suppose one of the guys who was involved in the attack of that person who's been stabbed started murmuring. I mean, was saying some things to the others who were standing right before him. And so immediately I descended. I got down from the bridge and went down and got through to the brass pot. And that was where the real demonstration was happening. They chased that from one point, from the Obrasport point. They chased us, and then they got to us because parts of them were coming from behind us, and then the others also met us just like that. So they beat us a bit, and then the others managed to escape because their car was just close by. So they just sat in the car and then just sped off. But for me, my car had gone, so I was trying to find my way out. By the time I realized I was on the floor because I had some painful bang at my back. They hit me. I was trying to call. They even took the phone I was holding away from me and all that. I was trying to crawl my way out. It was scary. I almost thought
job. One of the women who have made a mark in Ghana is Shamima Muslim. In 2016, she formed the Alliance for Women in Media initiative, which she says is to help women in journalism who are the most disadvantaged.
The lack of visibility of women in journalism is a challenge. If we see them, they have to have some clout. It means that they should have some relevance in the media landscape. There's a challenge there because you want to find out what are women in media doing, what products are they producing, what stories are they writing, what strides are they making. If we can't give as many examples for women as we can give for men, obviously means that there's some underrepresentation. Then we need to find out why. So there are challenges to entry, as I've said. Professional development is a challenge. Maternal call becomes a challenge to you as a woman in terms of your career progression because you take time off to have babies. I've had to virtually turn my home into an office now because I've taken quite a long time off the media, to focus on family. And it has cost professionally.
Ghana is a shining example of a country with a free media space. In fact, the country currently ranks 26th on the World Press Freedom Index and second only to Namibia in Africa. But even here, the challenges in journalism practice are stuck.
As an investigative journalist, I think the biggest challenge is because law here fight
on the day. But after that, I mean, you're left to your fate.
In 2001, the country repealed the criminal libel law, which opened the space for more voices in the media landscape. But a right to information law, which will make access to news content easier for journalists, has been on the table for nearly 10 years. Because journalism is such a necessary tool for a nation's development, no country could do without it. It is imperative countries like Ghana show the way in creating an even freer space for the industry to thrive. Justice Baidu, Joy News.
Justice Baidu fathered reports, but a world without journalists, we all know, would be one in which people with power would exploit the vulnerable. The Media Foundation for West Africa presents the West Africa Media Excellence Conference and Awards to inspire media excellence across West Africa. The conference comes up on the 27th, which is tomorrow, and then the awards night is on Saturday, 28th of October at the Mervenpick Ambassador Hotel at 6:30 p.m. The awards will be telecast live here on Joy News. Get ready to celebrate excellent journalism in West Africa. The West Africa Media Excellence Conference and Awards event is supported by Tallow Oil, MTN, U.S. Embassy, Ghana Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors, Stanbic Bank, and Mervenpick Ambassador Hotel. Media partners: Ghana, Joy News, Class FM, Daily Guide newspaper, The Finder newspaper, and several West African media outlets. And the man who filed the story we shared with you a while ago, Justice Baidu, has been nominated. 3 other colleagues, Manasseh Azore Awene, Seth Kwame Boateng, and Albert Sori. They've all been nominated, and God willing, they're coming home with some awards. All right.